So, as you could tell, I just got through running across the cornfields with my dogs to come over here on a Saturday and say hi to everybody. So I'll get better at this. We'll get higher quality in the editing room because I do all my own production too. Anyway, again, love you guys. Go say hi to somebody. Just wave at somebody. Start there. Just wave at some people. Younger people, older people. I did that backwards, didn't I? Younger people, older people. Just go out and say hi. Let's start. There was a hashtag that Barbie wants to get started. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look through some of the old films. We need to be pulling together and discussing these items, and not be afraid to have a dinner. What do they call it? Table dinner, or around the dinner table. Politics is a device to keep this country moving forward. I know that all the people in the middle class want this country to keep moving forward. I also know that the politicians we have currently in place on both sides of the aisle, some way more than others, but we have a situation now where the politicians don't want us to necessarily move forward. They want, and our education and our information to be lower and lower so that they can control and control more. They have very perfect lives, really. And these are the things we don't understand. You know, we need to really be able to have the courage and have the patience to be looking at our politicians more directly, with more information. As I've said before, we have a utopia coming, and if we don't have control over our politicians, as that utopia comes, then we won't have that utopia. We will be moved into whatever needs that the country has, without the rewards. This middle class of America has been stronger and done more than my own. I know I'm biased, but than any other. As a matter of fact, all the middle classes, around the world, is what the economy is built on, and we have no say at how that money is spent. Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning to the great middle class. That video was that intro was done, as you guys know, probably about a year ago. And it's funny how this show has progressed off of just original concepts. We have about 45 people in so far today. Emma is here. She's in the backstage there. Hey, Emma, by the way, just so you know, can you adjust yourself? That light in the back really comes through when you're not sitting. Right there is perfect, right where you are now. Little low, but if you can move that up a little bit, just stay in front of the window. Sorry, online discussions and goings on here. So I want to give you a little introduction to today's show. As you know, this is Insights and Straight Talk. I'm your co-host, Rod Duff, our Grandpa Rod today, and Emma Lynn runs the show here. And so, as we walk, please, excuse me, welcome to another special edition of Insights and Straight Talk, Voices at the Table. Today, we return to one of the most important conversations happening anywhere in America, because the voices that matter most are speaking up again. Battle. This is the teen identity, right? So, teen identity and the battle for belonging. So I'll get into a little bit of what we mean by that. It's real, it's raw, and it's led by the next generation, right? It's led by the next generation. Behind every teen smile, there's a silent story, a tug of war between who the world says they should be and who they're still becoming. And in a time where likes, follows, and filters shape so much of our self worth, finding your true identity and your real place of belonging has never mattered more. Has never mattered more. That's why we created Voices at the Table, Emma and I, a place where courage meets conversation, where teens and parents sit side by side, listen again, and learn from one another. It's more than a show. This is the classroom the world forgot. Today, we're asking, who am I really? What does belonging feel like? And how do we find it again together in a world that feels so divided? This conversation isn't just about teens, it's about family, it's about faith, it's about rediscovering the courage to be seen just as you are, right? And leading this conversation is someone whose heart and honesty inspire me. I say every week because of the show, but really every day. She's unfiltered, she's bold, she's curious, she just got a new job, and she's not afraid to tell the truth, even when it's hard. Please help me welcome, ready, Emma? Please help me welcome Emma Lynn.
Hi.
How you doing, Emma? Hey, I just
I'm
wanted to throw this up. Oh, wow, we already have 246 people here. Welcome, everybody. So I just wanted to throw this up. I know I said how you are, but then I forgot to put this up during the intro. I've been playing around with some with some with some AI generated features. As a matter of fact, the one on today, that's not really Emma and I, but it looks pretty dang good. I think it does. Anyway, how are you, Emma?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. So where do we start? Let's start with your job. You said you got a new job.
Yes, I did. I got hired like last night basically.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they had been calling me for a little bit and I had went on my phone and I saw the calls and they called me and told me that I had they could put me in for an orientation on Wednesday at 4. So I did the background check last night and all of that and yeah.
Congrats. So you're starting. Do you have a start date yet, or the orientation's coming up, and then you get your
I
kind of thing?
I think it's the day after. What Wednesday? What day is that? Is that the 4th?
I I think you're right. It is the fourth.
Okay, I think my starting date is the 5th, right after. Because I'm pretty sure I read on there that my
No,
starting date was the 5th.
the Tuesday is the fourth. Wednesday is the fifth.
Oh, they put my starting date as the 5th, so I guess the
Wednesday.
orientation counts. I don't know.
Oh, so
I'll
that's
like,
when you're doing the orientation is on the fifth.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay. Hey, by the way, you know today's Maddie's birthday?
Really? I
Yeah,
did not know
2 years.
that.
Yeah,
Aww.
I got to give her a holler here after the show.
Oh,
That like by the way, I saw your posts right after we did the show, and there's that red hair you were contemplating. Remember that?
yeah. I'm gonna dye it back to blonde this weekend, but
You don't like the red? I love it. I think it's
I
cool
don't know. I don't know. I miss my blonde. I'm so used to being blonde that like it just doesn't. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't make me feel right.
Well, it does change your tone, no doubt. I mean, your tone in your face, like you said, your complexion. Got 302 people on, Emma, drawing it hard. So, but yeah, it's here. Let me get a closer look again. Oh yeah, look at you. Oh, and you know what you're doing,
I can't wear a lot of my colors too.
right? I just noticed you really. You know what? It really makes it pop is
It
the
it
lipstick.
makes my
Yeah,
lips look so much more darker too, which I don't know if I like that or not.
I think it looks
But
awesome.
Huh?
I think it looks awesome. I gotta get rid of this damn reflection. Do you see like a lot of reflection in my glasses?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not bothering. I don't think it's bothering anyone.
It's bothering me.
Okay, well,
All
you're the
right,
only
so
one.
okay, then I'll just forget it. So um what's the week been like? So today's Saturday, you got a full weekend ahead of you, obviously. And
Mm-hmm.
so what was the week like? Give us a little review while people are, it usually takes people 15-20 minutes or so to kind of start asking a few questions. And so as they're coming in and warming up their coffee or their tea, or the kids are coming over to sit next to the parents and have a look and get some insights. Why don't we give them a little more time, and what's your week been like?
That's such a bad question because I haven't done anything this whole week.
It's
I've just
been
been
it's
going to school. I've just been
well,
going to
no,
school
you're
and
boxing too, right?
oh yeah. Yeah, I do boxing and I've been applying to jobs, which I got hired. But yeah, I've been doing boxing, which it's going good.
How many
Yeah.
how many sessions you've gone through now, or attended, or whatever
Two
the right word is?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, 3 days a week, you said?
Yeah. So sessions. Well, five kind. Well, no, 6 sessions. Yeah.
So what do you do, and what do you give the progression of those sessions? What so you started out, you kind of probably had some sort of an orientation of this is kind of what you do, but what's the progression been over the last 6 sessions?
Um, my progression.
Yeah, the
Um,
progression of the classes, and then your progression as well.
I didn't like the last class because I don't know. I didn't like the drills. But my progression I feel like is better because I actually like know more of what I'm doing and know more of like because you have to stand a certain type of way. They tell you like one, two, all that stuff, which I knew some of it kind of, but like not mostly. So now I mostly do know it. In a month, I'm trying to go into sparring, but I don't know how that's going to
Oh,
interfere with my job. So I have to like figure that out. Because if I go into
okay.
sparring, I'm going to have to do it every single day. And
Oh, you are.
yeah,
You have to, when you start sparring, you have to show up every day.
yeah. Well, no, except for Friday and Sunday.
Okay, but still, you have to show
Yeah,
up 5 days a week.
yeah.
How how many hours a week are you working are going to be working at Target? You're not going to work more than 20 hours a week, right?
I legally can't.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
And then
it's like 20 or 24. I don't know how many days I'm going to be working. They're probably going to be having me work more on the weekends because I told them I had open availability. So I feel like they're going to have me working on the weekends. But I can't work throughout the whole week, but I have to figure it out. Because even if I do sparring and like I miss a few days because of work also with like my fights like that I'm going to be doing, I don't know if my fights are going to be getting in the way of work and all that.
your fights will probably be on weekends then at that point, I would imagine. I mean,
You think
just
so?
remember, well, just remember we talked about the boys, your dad and your uncle, and Chris. We used to go to wrestling tournaments, football, this and that. Football was typically Friday night. Bless you.
Excuse me.
No
Thank you.
problemo. Um, so I'm imagining that you're sparring, because you'd be, is it people you're sparring within the club, or do you go on like tournaments is what you're, oh,
Like
sparring, wait,
tournaments.
that's okay. So tournaments I would imagine would be on the weekends, but I have no
Mm.
idea, I'm not there. Did you see what Ichel's said
Oh,
here about you?
Emma and Grandpa Rod, your bond gives me hope for better family connections. Thank you.
That's an interesting comment there. I wonder what's going on behind the scenes there. That's a lot of issues in today's world is that communication between family, right? You said it before. Um, you have kids and they're cute and wonderful, and there's a lot of attention, and then as you start to get older, parents and children start to drift away a little bit, right? I mean, what do you,
Yeah.
am I right there? Build on that for me, would you?
I mean, I feel like when kids are growing up or, when they come into them, they just kind of drift away from their family. Even friends and stuff like that too. They kind of just like drift away from it.
So you're saying that the teenagers or the kids that, let's just say teenager,
Yeah.
start drifting away into themselves, you mean?
Yeah, into themselves I mean, there's like a bunch of reasons why like family doesn't get along or something like that. Like it's because maybe the parents' fault or maybe the kid's fault or maybe it's just a kid growing up or there's a bunch of reasons why family doesn't get along. It could be on the kid, it could be on the parent. It's a
Well,
lot.
as you know, in the program that we're, by the way, I met with the Oklahoma Health Department. Um, we had a meeting on Friday. No, I
Mhm.
think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday, right after a show, and there's a lot of discussion about the regeneration school project here in Mangum, as far as teens voices at the table, spawn the regeneration school project, which is creating that fifth core in school, getting people prepared for life. But as part of that, I think we all recognize that, at least, and probably the families you were just referring to there don't
Mhm.
have the tools necessarily to parent, to teach their children. Because you, what did you say? And it's in the description. There was a comment I took from you last week. uh, you
Mhm.
can't teach what you don't know or aren't willing to learn, I think was the comment.
Oh, you can't save somebody who doesn't want to. Excuse me. You can't.
Go on, go on.
You can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved.
Right. And in that vein, um, we're now working with the kids, right, starting at kindergarten and going up through high school. And the ELAB, or the Leaf Lab, Simon and his group. I met his partner. We've had a couple of meetings over the last couple of weeks. His name's Jeff. They both co-founded that program, which is very, very interesting. They actually have a pilot program. Remember, I lived in Chicago, right?
Yes,
And I don't know if you knew this, but I lived in a town called Naperville in Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Very nice
I
area.
didn't know.
Very, oh yeah, I didn't
But
expect that, um, but they have a pilot program there where in the schools, the Naperville School District, um, their Leaf Flag program is how the school subjects are being taught. Just like how you talk about getting into the lab itself and getting a digital footprint to be able to then use that to go out and be ahead of the line, so to speak, when you're competing with other teenagers. But you're learning higher end, and you have proof. Hey, I've got this certificate. I did this. See the work that I did here. That kind of progression at an interview. I mean, maybe it doesn't work for McDonald's, but you want to go and get that next level of employment. You're now competing against college kids instead of uh, your peers, right? You're ahead of the peers. Yeah,
for my
you
job,
remember all that. Yeah, not necessarily for Target that we're doing
yeah,
that you're doing now, but as you continue on,
right.
that leaf that lab within the leaf program is really cool. I mean, you and I still got to get, or you probably still want to get back to that at some point and spend a couple hours a week and working on a project here or there, and then being able to add that to your resume.
Yeah, I could do that.
So, speaking of which, talk to Jack here. Jack looks, wow, Jack looks, he looks roughly your age-ish, right? Maybe a little bit older, but I'm
He
just looking
looks
at a picture.
older. He
Well,
looks older.
you got to remember, I'm
Um,
really older. So, anyway, talk to Jack here.
how can teens stay true to themselves when everyone's trying to fit in? Um, I've like said this before and I like totally forgot what I said and I'm trying to remember. Um, I
So, be
feel
true to
like
yourself. I'll
yes.
feed you what you were saying. So, you got to be true to yourself, right? I remember some of this stuff. It's amazing. I remember some of this stuff. I
That's
got an
good.
old brain and it's still ticking.
Yeah, you have to be true to yourself and not I feel like trying to be like everyone else isn't gonna get you anywhere because then you're gonna sit there and just keep trying to fight and be like everyone else and
Ooh,
it
good point.
doesn't get you anywhere. So it's like you kind of have to be true to yourself. You know, if you like say clothes wise, if you like the clothes, then get the clothes. Even if, you know, everyone else is wearing them. If you like them, get them. And if you don't, then don't. Like it's just be yourself. Like what you like, don't like what other people like. Because everyone's different at the end of the day. You're not expected to be like copy and paste.
Ooh, say that again.
You're not expected to be copy and paste.
That is boom, folks. You hear that? That I love that. That was well said. You and in that same vein, in my opinion, anyway,
Mm.
you want to be different. I mean,
Yeah.
when you get in the intro, I talked about we still got like 300 people on. In the intro, I talked about in this world of clicks and follows, you know, and you've mentioned this before a couple of different on a couple of different shows where um, you see so much social media in this image that it's like in the old it's that Vogue image on the magazine in my day, right, which is
Right.
now amplified where here this is the perfect image. It's not, but that's what the algorithm keeps feeding you, right?
Yeah.
That's where self-confidence and all that starts to come in and say, hey, let's think a little further ahead than just our teenage years, because this is a learning area, but it's not necessarily the there's more to come and more better stuff to come. um,
Mhm.
so being true to yourself, what does that mean? Expand on that. So yeah, if you like the clothes, get the clothes, because and that's where all the pressures come in, because
Yeah,
with social media.
style, hair, jewelry, shoes, all that. People want to get the same things that everyone else's have to get to fit in or something like that. And I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like there's so how do I expand on that? It's just you're not expected to be like everybody else. Like you're not gonna not fit in because you don't do what everyone else does. Like it doesn't matter. Like it I feel like if you were like everybody else and everyone was the same, everyone would be so bored. Everyone would be so
Yeah,
plain.
you
Everything
wouldn't
would just
stand
be
out.
boring, you know? And I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really have friends because everyone was just the same.
Yeah, and if you think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. What's your opinion of this? At the end of the day, there's a very small. It's like everything in life, even in politics. There's a very small group that has this big voice.
Hmm.
They're making all the noise, but everybody else more or less wants the same thing that you're talking about, to be their own person, to be able to thrive, and to be able to explore what they are becoming. Like in the intro, it's very tough in this world of clicks and all this, that to find who you're becoming, and you want to become who you're becoming, not what the expectation of this little group is. Or
Hmm.
you know what I'm getting with that. What's your thought
Yeah,
on that?
I think I agree with you on that. I feel like you a lot of people do want to be different, but at the same time, it a lot of people feel like they're expected not to be or feel like they're too scared to be themselves like out in public. Like they're too scared to try out that hairstyle that they want to try out in public. They're too scared. It like the list goes on. People are too scared to do it because of what everyone else is going to think. So they kind of just follow that trend on what everyone else is doing and what they're comfortable in doing because they know everyone else is doing it, that they just stick with that.
That's where we all kind of become sheep at the end of the day, right? We just kind of become sheep and follow.
Yeah.
How, how, this may be a tough question,
Mm.
but how do you realize that at 16 years old and know that and are comfortable talking to 300 and now 3 4 another one
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, comfortable in talking to 300 people about what you just said. I mean, that's if I talk to another teenager that walked by and asked them, well, okay, that's a little extreme, but another person your age, I don't know that they could vocalize that as well. How are you able to do that? What do you not assess? What do you attribute
Well, I feel like a
that
lot
to?
of I feel like a lot of teenagers are starting to find themselves right now. Like this is the age
Ah,
where you're starting to find yourself, starting to find out the things that you like, starting to be comfortable. I feel like, when it's like middle school, your freshman year, you're scared, you're nervous, like that's when things are weird. Or even
true.
sophomore year. But I feel like once you are, becoming of like almost age, like I feel like that's when everyone is starting to be themselves because that's when you have to figure out, okay, what do you want to do with your life? What, and you have to make that decision. If you want to go to college, you got to keep your grades up. That's when you actually have to start making decisions. So that's when everyone kind of is starting to find out what they like and find out themselves. I feel like this is around the time where everyone's starting to figure their stuff out, or hopefully. Some people don't,
Yeah,
but like most people are starting to, figure out what they want to do or what they're going to do or how their path is going to lead them.
that's interesting. Um, I wonder if I wonder if that's I wonder if that could ever be sped up, in any of these programs we talk about, or is this just biology? Is this just the human? Let me put it this way: is what you're saying now? So 16, you're starting 17, 18. You get into your 20s, and you're really in that place now. You really need to be in that place by
Mhm.
then, right now. At least kind of figuring out where you want to be going, and this, wearing, getting your own style and getting your own comfort within your own skin. I wonder if that could ever be sped up, or why it takes into your 20s ish or late teens to really be able to get there. I wonder if that's biology. What
I
do you
mean,
think?
I don't know.
Is,
I think it's just like my like assumption. It's just my assumption. It might be something else, but I feel like it's because like those are the times where you have to find out what you want to do with yourself, and it's not all fun and games like it was back in TK where you're just sitting there sleeping on beds. Like all literally, like when you're a kid, all you have to focus about is like being a kid and your friends, and that's it. You don't really have to focus on grades and what you're going to do in the future. It's your whole life is just kind of being around like friends and like having friends and enjoying it. So when like I feel like that's what people tend to do is like, oh, let me try to be like everybody else because that's kind of the only thing that they have to worry about. They don't have to worry about actually big problems in life. That's like, okay, you need to start getting a
they don't even
job.
think
Okay,
about
you
it.
need to, yeah, because they don't have to. But once you start getting to that age, I feel like that's when people start being themselves because they're starting to do something for them and big things. So that's when you start becoming yourself because you're getting more into yourself. That's what you're going to do in the future. That's, you're becoming an adult.
You think that's, let's dig a little deeper on that. You think that's a biology, social, is that the training of the parents? Is it a good thing? Is it fine? Is it the way it should be because of the way you just described it? I hit a couple of different points there. Why don't you bounce across it if you would?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like no kid should feel like they have to like fit in, which a bunch of kids don't. A bunch of people don't care. A bunch of people have like no like self-awareness, I guess, and they're just like careless and free and just, which is amazing and great for them. But other people care too much about what other people think on top of that.
Do
I
you
feel
think
like
that's a
that's,
parental influence, a
I don't
social
know. I mean,
influence?
I feel like everything that happens, it has a reason, but it's
Hmm.
for so many reasons. Everything that happens like isn't just for one thing. Like it could be so many different instances, because like someone could be like insecure for, because they got made fun of, and another person can be insecure because of their home life. Like it kind of just depends a lot. Yeah.
Good point. But at the end of the day, uh, I think overall, I think just in general, yeah, I'm speaking from the parents' view, right? Or the
Mhm.
grandparents' view now.
Mhm.
I used to be I still am a parent technically, I guess, anyway. But from that, it just seems like that because of my own experience. Okay, you're speaking from your experience and your point of view,
Mhm.
right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're drawing from what you don't know. You. Oh, that was bad. Sorry.
Mhm.
Thought I turned my phone off there. Your phone rings and the picture shuts off, right? Um, that
Oh
was the
yeah, like my whole thing shuts off. It's so annoying.
It's crazy. That technology has got to get better. But to me, and from my own experience, it seems like that we just as parents, as societal, as a whole society, not every single parent, not every single parent isn't, not every single parent is. Everybody's their own they have their own history, and so they have their own expression, their own whatever. It just seems like parents should need to get more tools, because the only tools I had was what my parents had, and their tools came from their parent. You know what I mean by tools, right? As far as
Mhm.
parenting, and not even the workplace at this point, but work ethic and this and that. And it varies. That they're sometimes traumatic experiences actually make somebody better in life, because they didn't want that moving forward or whatever. But at the end of the day, it just seems like there should be more availability for tools to be out there, and uh, uh, able for people to use to pass on to the next generation. That's where it seems that we seem to be doing this, and maybe even down a little bit. We should each generation be able to be moving it up. And I think that's why there's so many of these programs that are out there that are really trying to make that change, right?
Yeah.
So here, was that Paula? How can schools create more spaces like voices at the table? We kind of hit on this on every one of these shows, different questions like what Paula's asking here, and you and I talked about Naperville, and how that has that pilot program, and what we're trying to do here in Mangum. And there's more, there's others, obviously, but lay some thought out there for Paula. Oh, you're going to chicken out of that, aren't you? I can see
I
it all
don't
over your
know.
face.
I don't have an answer to that.
So let me take it, Paula. I mean, like we were just talking about. That's why we put this voices around the table, or at the table, into our conversation to create more awareness, and my biggest concern has been moving forward on the Regeneration School project. They're tied together, right?
Mhm.
To me, um, I was concerned about the school systems kind of accepting this, and I've not we this thing has not gotten into that point yet, but I see a lot of very big interest in it. So how can they do it? um, these pilot programs that we mentioned earlier today, and for instance in Naperville, there's another one in Texas. There's a big program. There's I did a show 2 weeks ago with a nationally known teacher and educator, and she has a online school. It's got 2,000 kids in the school, and in that they're teaching this type of program. Montessori, you know that term, Emma? Montessori school. So a Montessori school is been around for a long time, and it's like the charter programs that
Mm-hmm.
you and I have talked about. And you attended one, and
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily a great experience, but Montessori is something along like that. In that it doesn't, it's not set up as the traditional school in that, okay, you're in first grade, you're in second grade, you're in third grade. It is in that, but you elevate according, not the whole class necessarily graduates at the same time. In today's world, if there's a genius, maybe there's one kid that'll continue and skip grades, because their progression is further ahead. Make sense? Did it make sense? Hold on. You're in
In a way.
so right now, when you graduate, your whole class graduates. Whoever
Mm-hmm.
graduates, the only option really is to not graduate if you're getting all F's or whatever, right? From
Right.
11th grade or 10th grade or whatever, right? In Montessori, it's basically the same thing. Bless you, but
Excuse me.
what it does is that as you progress, you could be moving within your class. You could have third and fourth graders in there because I do math at a higher level. Now I know there's things that have caught up. There's advanced courses. Troy High School out there is a school that has for escalated kids, so to speak. But there seems to be not enough of that. And so, as far as creating more space, like voices at the table, it's programs like this that we need to work within the school system. And I've said this a few different times. I'm really excited about this time that we're in,
Mm-hmm.
because things like Doge, which is reducing money that is wasted within our system, and fraud and waste and all that. That and the restructuring of the school system. I think, Paula, we're going to see more opportunities like this kind of platform that Emma has here. In addition, I think, and others, I think we're going to see more and more of this, Paula. That's kind of the point at which I was making, and I always like to stretch things out. So a 5-word answer turns into a 55-word answer. Why don't you take Kevin and see what he's saying here, and see how you can input to what he's talking about. And try and make it a 500-word answer.
Yeah. Why is belonging such a struggle even when we're surrounded by people? Um,
Ah,
what do you mean?
okay. So, and this is especially, I don't know. I hear this a lot, actually, um, and not about kids or not about anything. It's just it. I'll give you an example. Say you're in school and you've got, you know, I don't know how big your class is, 1,000 people,
Oh wait,
whatever.
I get it. I get
Okay,
it.
there you go.
I feel like belonging is a struggle because people naturally go into groups. People naturally go into groups on who, they connected with better, and then it kind of just goes together, or people that, they like, or something like that. People naturally go into groups, and when you see so many people in so many groups and you're not in a group, you get insecure and you start feeling like you don't belong in that area, especially if, like, you're moving around a bunch and you go somewhere and everyone's been to school with each other since elementary school and
Oh,
you
good
just got
point.
here, and everybody knows each other, nobody knows you, nobody really cares to get to know you because like they already have their own group, so you feel like you don't belong in that area.
Excellent point. Excellent. And then it becomes upon you to not force, not get up all in their Kool-Aid, so to speak,
Mm,
but for you to interact in a way that is attractive to that group. And as long as it fits with you, then
yeah,
you've got to be the pursuer, right?
yeah,
Because you said they're not going to, people are already dialed into what they're dialed into. You have
hmm,
to be an attractive addition to that, right?
yeah. You
I
have to
just,
have some type of personality like that or something like that.
I just figured out why my glasses are sparkling so much.
Why?
Your room is really really bright. I'm getting the reflection off your room. I just saw it from
I
the.
don't have any lights on it. It's just a window.
You're in California, man. Sunny Southern California. Hey, you said you're driving today, right?
Hmm.
You
What?
said you're going to drive a couple hours today with the parents, right?
Yeah.
Where you are you going to drive for a couple? Like, are you guys going out on the? Have you driven on the freeway yet?
No, my parents haven't taken me yet.
Well, that'll be one of your classes, or at least one, if I remember. I mean, like in
No,
driving
I
school,
already finished my classes.
and they didn't have you go on the freeway.
No, because you're not needed to go on the freeway for your test, and you're not needed to go on the freeway in general, because you could just take side streets. A lot of kids
True.
don't go on the freeway, so it's not mandatory for. They said if I wanted to, like, we could, but we were focusing on other things that it kind of just we didn't touch that point. But it wasn't
Okay.
mandatory to go and do that. They focus more on things that were going to be on the test than weren't on the test.
Right. 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 So let
Yeah.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this then. Are you planning on at some point you got to get on a freeway, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's some point in time where you're going to be on a free.
Well, yeah, I'm
Which
going to go on
which
the freeway.
what okay, then I think you just gave me the answer I'm going to ask you. What do you think about getting on, because it's scary, right? You're coming on
Yeah.
an on-ramp of people that are already going 65, 75 miles an hour. What is your thought about that
I mean,
coming up?
I already told my mom that I was like ready to go on the freeway, and if she wanted to take me on the freeway, she could.
Nice. Nice. I was scared to death going on the freeway there. But after the first few times, it's actually easier to drive on a freeway than it is a street because you're not stopping and starting. And well, in California, you are actually
The
because it's rush
traffic.
hour all the time.
Yeah, but you're just going straight mostly, so it's like easy. It's less,
True.
I don't know. It's less like frantic than like streets because you have like so many rules with like side streets, like all the stop signs and all the yielding and like everything. There's so many rules. But I have my test the 14th, so we need to
The
get my car
14th.
figured out.
Yep.
Yes, we need to get my car
Okay.
figured out.
2 weeks.
You have
Um,
2 weeks.
I
If not,
gotcha.
I'm gonna have to drive my dad's for the next 6 months,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't want to drive his
Is
car.
his car
The
is that the
Ford,
Edge?
the Ford Edge, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because it's too big. Is that's a bigger car, right?
I mean,
Or
I
what is
don't.
it? Or is it
It
just
is
that it's not yours? I get that part would
no
answer the
the
question.
car. Like I'm scared of it breaking down because it breaks down a lot. Like the other day, he was trying
Oh,
to start up the car and he needed to like wire it or something because it wasn't working. And there'll be times where like the car will stop. Like I just don't want to deal with the car that's like breaking
oh,
down on me.
yeah, that would
Yeah,
suck, especially for a young lady, especially if there's something going on at night or whatever. Yeah. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Okay. Guilt. I got guilt. I got the guilt. All right. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Talk to Kobe here.
Oh, how can teens learn to say no when the pressure feels too strong? Um,
You've answered this before.
don't be easily put like the only thing is like you have to stand on it. Like don't be easily pressured. Don't feel the need, don't be a people pleaser. Like
Mm,
put yourself above others. You kind of have to do like especially like I mean I feel
self
like you
care.
should put like like have that self-respect. Like if it's not somebody that isn't that important to you and that you don't it's just a friend or it's somebody that's trying to pressure you, don't belittle yourself over them. They
Mm.
don't care about you, and they wouldn't do that for you. They wouldn't feel that way about you. So it's like, why let somebody do that that wouldn't even feel that way towards you?
What do you think that? Do you think that's a big issue as far as well, you said the word people pleaser, and that's a known used term.
Yeah.
What do you think that comes from?
Um, what do you mean? People pleasing?
Like,
Like,
yeah, why is I know there I know some people that even say it themselves. How does that develop in somebody's personality? You think? Obviously from their past, but why would somebody get to a point? I mean, you want to be kind, you want to be friendly, you want to help out your neighbor, just normal, right? Human characteristics, but there's that next level or multiple levels ahead
I
of.
think could be for a lot of reasons, but I feel like people like to avoid conflict.
Okay.
So to avoid that conflict, they people please to avoid an argument, to avoid whatever. Um,
So that no matter what the other person is doing, I'm pleasing you, so you have to like me. That's kind of what you're
mm,
getting. Or
no,
no? Okay.
no, like it's like, if you don't please that person and they get mad, you know. So to
Okay.
avoid that conflict of an argument or them getting mad, you just please that person. I feel
Yeah.
like that's where people pleasing can come from, or because a lot of people are easily taken advantage of, and they're kind of just really easily like, oh, okay, like, yeah, 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 like, just like, oh, okay, I'll buy that for you. Oh, like, even though they shouldn't. And like, I don't know, there's a bunch of reasons why I feel like people pleasing happens. It's just like so many people are people pleasers, but it's for so many different reasons. Like, everybody has
Exactly.
their own little reasons for why they want to people please.
Exactly.
Because of
Yeah,
the way
that
they
makes
grew up, maybe because of their friend. Like, it's just, yeah.
I think it's also it boils a lot down to, from my experience, it just seems like those people that you would define as people pleasers don't have
Hmm.
as much self confidence in themselves.
Hmm.
So they feel the only way that they can reach that equity with whoever they're dealing with and be liked is to become, when you get to a point where you're a people pleaser, it's almost obnoxious, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's one, like I said, help out your neighbor, say hi to people, all those normal reactions,
Hmm.
all that is good stuff. But then you get to a level of obnoxiousness where you're constantly running around trying to please other people so that you can have self-worth or be, in your opinion, be accepted by others, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And do you think that's, and to me that's where you, if that's something that people are in. So how can teens learn to say no when the pressure feels too strong? um, let's We didn't do this Kobe yet, did we?
We're literally talking about it right now. I had said a
Ah,
whole thing, and
oh
you
geez,
had picked
yeah,
up on the
yeah, yeah.
people pleaser.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't normally do that, do I? I'm joking. So when it becomes that to that level, then there's a little bit of not mental illness, but there's a little bit of issue with self confidence. So
Hmm.
basically, it is a wrap up of to Kobe here. Um, and it's interesting he said teens here because I think that more, or does it? Do you know teens that kind of are already like they're running around trying to please everybody? Because all you're doing is you're creating a horrible life for yourself.
I
Or is this more an older thing, do you think?
I think it's both sides. I feel like it could be
Really?
both sides. Yeah.
So teens even like there's a sophomore running around trying to make sure everybody is in
I
the
mean,
right
especially
place.
if they feel like they don't belong, they're gonna try to please the people to feel like they belong. So I feel like that's where people pleasing can turn up for teens. For adults, I don't know.
I I I I I have to imagine then from what you're saying that now adults are the same thing they were as teens, just further along and deeper into it, and it all comes back to self-esteem then, and is kind of
Hmm.
where I think that's going, right? All right, let's see where we are here. How does authenticity become a superpower in such? Ooh, this is a great question, Jason. I like this. How does it become a superpower in such a noisy world? He's picking up on our insights and straight talk. You know, a beacon amongst the noise.
He's
Why are
using
you
like
chuckling?
poetic. He's using like poetic words, so it's not processing through my head.
Okay, so authenticity. You know what that means, right?
Yes, authentic.
Okay, so you're authentic. You're basically what we've been talking about here, right?
Hmm.
And how this whole show is. You got to be about. You got.
Hmm.
Um, well, I did a Barbieism on. We're on three now, but one of them was you can't fill a cup. Sometimes you just need to refill your own cup, and being having self care and you know the struggles of the world. It's not wrong or selfish to care for yourself, because if you're if you feel better about yourself, not to the point of people pleasing, but if you feel better about yourself, then your family gets is benefited from that, your children,
Hmm.
your spouse, your friends, your schoolmates. You know, if you're the becoming the best person of you, and in times of struggle, kind of sit back and say, I need to take care of myself. I need to get that breath, that
Hmm.
bridge. um that that's 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 important to be staying authentic. Now when you're authentic, that can be a superpower, because a lot of
Hmm.
people aren't, right?
Yeah.
And the world is a noisy place. People tell it back to the clicks and the follows and the, you know, it's a noisy place saying, hey, be this or be that. So what Jason's basically saying here is, uh, being authentic. How can that be a superpower? He's saying the words, but how can that be powerful in your own life?
How it can be powerful.
How it can be powerful, beneficial. He's using the word superpower, so I'm trying to stay in that
Okay.
realm. But at the end of the day, I know my life changed when I became more authentic. You know, the mask
Hmm.
came down. I wasn't trying to be pretending to be somebody else.
I
You
feel
know, which
like
is it. Go ahead.
I feel like confidence is literally everything because if you're confident, you get a job. If you're not confident and you come into an interview and you're not smiling and you don't look happy and you don't look confident, they're most likely not gonna, like hire you, especially if you're gonna be like a cashier or something like that. So confidence is
True.
genuinely really everything. Confidence is what everyone is looking for. And that comes with being authentic. I feel like if you're not authentic, you're not confident, you're insecure, you have a lot of things going on. It helps you in your life so much to become who you want to be, because if you're not authentic, you're not who you want to be. And it's a superpower because a lot of people can't have that. A lot of people can't come to that realization that they need to stop caring, because a lot of people just care too much, and a lot of people don't know how to stop caring so much.
Um, you know, I was gonna ask you after this question to have a closing comment, but I don't know that there's a better closing comment. That was. Is there any way you could repeat what you just said?
No.
I knew it. I
No.
knew it. I knew it. Yeah. So, well, thought of the day. Wrap up. Any final comments? There's 300 people on here that, I mean, they jumped on right away and have stuck in. So this your fan base right here. I mean, we've had higher numbers and different things at different shows here with us. I think we're on like 14 or 15 episodes now with both of us. We've had,
Yeah.
you know,
We've had a lot
but
of episodes.
so what right now? Well, oh wow, a dozen just showed up. So for this new, hey, by the way, everybody, please subscribe. Oh, did you get my link on the Substack, Emma?
Mm.
Yeah,
I've been
I
getting
sent you a link.
so many links all day, so many emails. Is it an
It was
email?
I think it's a text. I think I texted you. You can't check your text right now, right?
No.
I think I sent you a text. Is it right? Oh, you sent me a text. Yeah, it's right above the text you sent me. It's
Okay.
the link to the most recent Substack. It's free, so just subscribe if you would.
Mhm.
And every Monday and every Friday, I put out and I call them Barbieisms, but it's me um, because it's kind of goes with the flow of the show. So every Monday I do a Barbieism. This was Fridays, yesterdays, which is behind the mic, and I think it came out pretty good. I'd love you to hear your input on it.
Opinion.
Yeah, your opinion on it. Um, but final words here. Everybody, please subscribe. Final words here, Emma. Would you kind of wrap the show and speak for the next 23 minutes?
23.
Oh, come on. I'm joking on that. I was, can you give us that?
I don't even have a closing thought. I can't imagine me possibly talking for 20 minutes, just
Not, nah. I just
open-ended.
I like screwing with you.
I can
So
tell.
you went through a number of different questions here, and kind of follow a theme. Um,
Hmm.
as we wrap here, we're at right at an hour right now. Hey, congratulations! Thank you for that. I know you've got a really busy day. So,
Hmm.
what would you want people to walk away with? Whether it's 30 seconds, please no, or 30 minutes. I know that's not going to happen. A couple of minutes here. What would you want people if you're with your bestie right now and they've been having a couple of issues, and I know we've had these conversations. Some of your friends, some of them I know, and different things, and they came to you and kind of were filtering some of the discussions we had today. What would you and they had to get going, or you had to get going? What would you want to leave them with?
I wish I could like go back to what I just last said and just say that. I
Yeah,
can't
that was
remember what
really
I
good.
said though.
That was really
Um,
good.
I don't know. Just don't give in to peer pressure. Be yourself. Be authentic, because that's the best thing that you could give the world is yourself. And
Ooh, that was good. Say
yeah,
that again.
the best
What?
thing that you could give the world is yourself.
There you go. Okay, I think that's worth every minute, every of that 30 minutes.
Okay.
You have a beautiful day, granddaughter. I love you,
You too.
and I'll see you later.
I love you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Right, there you have it. So, and I just want to point back to this. On Tuesday, we're going to have here. Let me take him off the mic here. Live on November 6th. That's 10:30 Central Standard Time. We're gonna we're gonna build on today's show as we always do, and talk about the school regeneration project. And in that, if you look here, right here, you see these symbols here. Well, I don't know if you can even see my pointer, but it's got a strong arm, emoji, strong arm, a wheat, a brain, and a heart. And if you look right above here, health, wealth, and hope. This is where a lot of what Emma talks about on this show builds right back to this, which is building from the inside out and having the tools to be able to do that. Stay after the outro video. I always do a little surprise, a 5-second snippet. I only got a couple seconds before it cuts out. So stay at the end, and this is Insights and Straight Talk with, you just saw Emma Lynn. She's the champion of my life, and Grandpa Ron. So with that, I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here, and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.